All right, everybody, with us this week for our 3-year anniversary, our first guest and our forever guest. We always say this Hall of Famer, Dave Silverman.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Welcome back to the podcast, and how's it going?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Life is good. Talking football and all that again, so we're ready to go.
Do you remember our first interview? You definitely do.
I should have listened to it before, but I probably do. That was 3 years ago. I don't remember last week. I don't remember earlier today what I did.
Is this your, and also I think this, Tondo, we've got to check the archives here, but I do think Silverman has been lapped by some others as far as appearances on the pod in total, but none of them match you. You, I believe, were crowned the Hall of Fame guest first before any. You're the inaugural Beer Business and Balls Hall of Famer.
Same day as Fontana.
Yes.
John Fantana.
So 4-time guest, first Hall of Famer for our I think it was last year, our 2-year anniversary. So
yep.
we still owe us a trip to McBride's, and we still have your plaque and
okay, yeah.
So
we tried to do this live. I mentioned it, but this is a tough time of year. May's kind of a tough time of year for all of us. I think you guys are all busy.
We'll do. I think honestly, we really do need to do a day in the life of you heading to a game, and what the camera follows the cameraman.
Yeah. Good luck getting the Patriots to let you do
that. well,
and then you got to go by me. So it's got to be more than an award. And
we'll slap a GoPro onto you and just let you walk and follow it around.
They've tried to do that before, so that's nothing.
Oh wow!
Actually, I always say if I stand still long enough, they'll put a billboard on me there.
Oh geez, they're gonna sell ad space on you. What?
Yes.
What are the odds we can do a live show at Gillette Stadium?
Depending on when you do it.
Interesting. I meant with you. I meant the three of us.
You could probably do it at a camp sometime, maybe in the background. I don't know if they'll let you do it during the camp, but you can do it there on the grass or whatever.
Intriguing.
We can talk to people.
Okay.
But then you got to see if you can get an old Patriot on or something like that.
Yeah. We can't have a former football player on. Oh no.
Because they'd be fun, unlike me.
How about
You've always been.
Oh,
who would be a good I don't know, an Andre Tippett maybe?
Well, you mentioned Matt Light.
Yeah, Matt Light would be pretty cool.
So there's nothing against Andre, but Matt's got stories. Matt's a good storyteller. If you want a really good, watching the two guys together, I saw them at the at a presentation earlier with Matt Light and Joe Andruzzi. Get the two of them in one place, and you're going to have a good time. You guys won't even be seen because they'll just take over the show.
That's okay.
Yeah, actually, if you get all the good old boys, the offensive line. Him and Hochstein and all those guys together.
Let's bring Logan Mankins back, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They used one of our Super Bowls. It wasn't Logan because he never won a Super Bowl because he left too early. They pulled up in Winnebago to Kraft's house for a Super Bowl, and it was all the homeboys, pulling in, and they had their drinks in the cars, and they come out of a Winnebago and ready to party, get their rings.
We had Dan Copen on a couple months, more than a couple months ago.
That was probably a year ago.
Probably a year ago. Yeah, he had some great stories. And
did you go to his beer place?
Not Linesider. We had them on from Squad Locker. He's our merch provider.
Okay.
We had him and Tip Fairchild. But yeah, he was telling us about Linesider and stuff. They're on our list to hit up. Got a lot of people, a lot of conversations to still be had.
He also. We just did this the other day, Tondo. Super Bowl guests. Malcolm Mitchell stood up here and he's like, probably nobody else has won a Super Bowl. And we're like, well, actually, Dave Silverman's won a Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't win one. I'm there capturing their win. How's that?
You have a Super Bowl ring. That's what we care about. You have what? You have 6 of them? 4? 4.
4 of the 6.
All right. That's 4 times more than Malcolm Mitchell has, though.
Yeah, pretty much more than most of the people in the NFL. Yeah. But I don't earn it. I get flying other people's work. How's that? I do with the behind-the-scenes stuff. So it's, but it's not the same as being the guy who gets beaten up.
I was going to say, if we're talking active people, active NFL personnel, you got to be top 5 of the list.
For working staff? Or what?
Well, people who are still, working staff, but still working a regular season, because there's probably a lot of Patriots people that have retired. Obviously, Robert Kraft.
Wow. Do you want the number?
What?
Of most active people with the most Super Bowl wins?
What do we
Well,
got?
Tom Brady.
It's only 3. No, Brady's not active.
Well, yeah, well.
It's
might
only 3.
Come on, it's only been a couple
it's
of months.
guys that you photographed. It was Joe Thuney and Matt Slater. They are tied for the most career wins by an active player in Super Bowls with 3. So
You're right.
I don't see Dave Silverman on here. That's
you never will. But
do I have to report that for
look at staff,
misinformation?
if you look at staff, then you're talking a whole lot of people. You'd be
Oh
surprised.
yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair
No,
to
it's
take
very
into
fair.
this though.
It's very fair. We don't get beaten up, so we last a lot longer. Although I will have to say, Tippett has every ring, and don't forget he also has the '86 ring, the AFC
True.
Championship ring, not a Super Bowl.
Guy was a
But he was
monster.
there. What's that?
Guy was a monster. We saw him probably like 5 years ago with the CVS Celebrity Pro-Am in Barrington, and I will say he's gotta love the guy. He's not the best golfer though. I've seen better golfers than Andre Tippett.
He's got a bad back,
Yeah,
and he'll tell you that, and I'll just tell you that to stick up for him. But he probably golfs more than all of you guys do.
he probably does. Hey,
Probably does.
A+ guy though. A+ guy. He was walking around like waving, signing stuff. A+ dude.
He's the best. He gets it, and he was probably one of the first players I met. I used to. He had a dojo back in the day, and watching this big guy deal with these 5-year-old kids, teaching them karate was pretty impressive. Talking back in 92 when he had his studio, and going there and watching him work with 30 kids, and just watch this big guy just deal with them. And he was so friendly and so happy to work with them, and it was great. It was, he was always friendly to me. I always talked to him, and even now we go and talk to one another in BS. And had the chance to go see him get into the Hall of Fame, and followed him around. He'd do anything for anybody.
But you talk about, not being beat up on the field, but have you had any close calls or?
Nope, we don't talk about that.
Okay, nothing. Gotcha.
Nope, we don't want it to happen. I've got a good streak going.
Can't jinx yourself. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Even at any school, any of the colleges or anything. Well, this year, a couple of times, very close getting hit by a softball. So right now, as far as football, nothing so far.
The fedora is just a magic bubble.
It does scare a lot of people away. Oh shit! Here comes Silverman.
I think I've said that exact words to you in the fedora. Like, oh shit, here comes Silverman.
Shit, here he comes. Go away. What does he want? Although I will say that around the stadium, people know it because of the fedora. I don't get in trouble because they know it's Silverman. One time I went on there and I was going to see someone on the field just on a regular day, and I kind of went out there and 3 security guards come in and out, tapped me on the shoulder. I turned and I goes, "Where you at?" Because I didn't have my hat on. They didn't know who I was.
Hey, I stuck up for you a couple weeks ago. Well, maybe not stuck up for you, but depending on how you look at it. But when I did the Revs game against New York City FC on April 1st, the game pres staff needed pictures. They're like, we don't have the right pictures. And, an unnamed staff member said, Dave Silverman's definitely not here. Otherwise, I would text him. And I look around and I see your damn hat. And I go, hold on. I point right to the fedora. I go, you see that guy in the hat? She goes, oh, he's here. Yep.
Yeah. Just got to follow it because it moved quickly. I'm not a slow guy.
So I don't know. Depending on if they ask you to do any work, that's my fault. But
okay. Well, I got in trouble from Sarge the other day. Not in trouble. He says, it was nice what you did for Jake doing that sound videotape, and really appreciate it. You never sent me one. So the next
I think
game,
he sent me that too. He's like, why the hell did Silverman do that?
And he said, so the next game, I kind of had to do it. So I gotta be even with everybody up there.
Fair. You're an impartial guy. You're the people's photographer. That would be actually pretty cool. Dave Silverman, the people's photographer.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's not. You didn't like it.
How many people go, oh, that asshole? Come on.
We're trying to make some shirt ideas.
You won't have a lot of guys say that. I try to be nice to everybody. And if I don't, I just don't talk to you and I would ignore you. That's why I always come and say hi to you guys.
Well, we always appreciate it. So how's it been shooting the Revs?
Good. They're in a hot streak. They did lose the other night to Pittsburgh Hounds, something like that. And
was that Open Cup?
But that was their second. No, it was a Lamar Hunt Cup.
Yeah.
And we had our second team man. It wasn't our first guy, so no excuses. We'll go head down to Miami this week, play there, and we should beat them. We're in pretty good shape as long as we can stay healthy. Well, they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, have you noticed that too? Like, I think, at least for Will and I, we've sort of just looked at the Revs and said, yeah, they're whatever. They're an MLS team that, it's, I don't want to say like a joke, because they're not a joke. It's pro soccer, but it's sort of like, nobody really gives a crap about soccer. And to see them sell 30,000 the other day against FC Cincinnati, I mean, that was pretty cool. So have you noticed inside the stadium, like this year, a little bit more buzz than the past couple of years, or how's that been?
It's I've had a chance this year. I'm actually traveling with the Revs. So I've had a chance to go to a lot of the other stadiums. Most of them only fit 25 to 30,000. And it's such a different atmosphere than our stadium where you get 30,000 and it's empty. The crowds are a little louder in the other places and stuff like that, probably because of the size, because it's more compact in these other stadiums. But they're there because they know we're going to win. We play very well. Cincinnati was 2 number 1 teams. So, it was a very important game. That's why they come out.
What stadiums have you been to?
LA, which is by far what everyone says is the best. The crowd just on their feet the whole time, dancing and jumping around and noisy the whole time. That was a great.
C or LA Galaxy?
What's the other one?
FC?
Yes, FC.
The one that just they just won the thing last year.
Yeah, so them.
That's sweet.
Just got back from Toronto. That was a nice little stadium. I hear the Miami ones, which is actually in Fort Lauderdale, is not that great, but they're waiting to build one. Carolina, actually, we played in Carolina where the Panthers play, and it was the first game of the season. They sold out and had 60,000 there. So that's pretty impressive. But their average is 30, so they have the same situation as us. Big stadium, not a lot of crowd. Going to Atlanta at the end of the month, and that's sold out 70,000 every single game.
And that's at the Mercedes.
At the Dome, right? That's pretty amazing. And Seattle does the same thing. I don't think we're going there this year, but Seattle sells out 60,000 people too. So
yeah, we had the opportunity to go to TQL in Cincinnati, their new stadium for FC Cincinnati, and that was, I mean, I don't know what the size capacity was, but
I think it's around 20K.
What a stadium! I mean, it blew out where the Bengals play in Great American Ballpark. It was just new and shiny and this beautiful big structure, and that was a cool experience.
I think eventually when the Crafts build theirs for the Revs, that's going to be pretty impressive, because at this point it would probably be the newest one.
Yeah, NYCFC just dropped renderings for 2027, and that's going to be right across the street from Citi Field.
Really? So
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Actually, New York FC's got to do something. They play at Yankee Stadium, and they have the same situation. It's so far away, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And
the rumors
to see that.
There are rumors going around because there was just a large piece of land right near Encore Casino in Everett that just got bought by a construction developer. And that's been rumored to be the site for a potential new soccer-specific stadium in the Boston area. Very interesting stuff. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that, because there's no real more facts other than like one person got on Twitter and said, "Hey, this is happening. My source is my cousin's building it." Like,
yeah, but building it for who? Like, who's building
that's the thing.
You could be building it for Joe Schmo and whatever, but no, I mean, that's rumors are everywhere. They want to be in Boston. They know that.
I think the
but
Crafts
whatever it is,
know
they're
that
gonna do
too.
Like, they're going to do first class. They'll have concerts there and stuff.
Yeah.
So, it'll be nice. Those smaller stadiums are so nice.
But I think the Crafts know that, like, they're not dumb. They look around and they say, like, oh, this could be unbelievably successful if we just had a Rev-specific stadium, right? Like, if we had a stadium of 30,000, they could sell that thing out every day if it were in a place like Everett.
And, well, that's the whole goal, and that's why they've been waiting so long to get the right place. They had some places in Boston, and they just can't get it done, just like they couldn't get the stadium done. They were very close to coming to Providence,
Yeah.
Before Gillette was built. They were very close, and, it was hard with Buddy down there, too. And was it Link Alman there, or was it Chafee who was the whatever? I think it was Link Alman, and it was just couldn't get it done. Too bad. It went right in our backyard, right across the street from the app.
Could have been a what if, you know? Could have been
That would be so cool if the
would.
Patriots ended up in Providence. Oh my God. Imagine that.
It would have been kind of cool, but you know what? Gillette's kind of nice. They really wanted it in Boston. That would have been the ideal spot. I mean, look at all these other stadiums. You fly over the city, and there's a big stadium there. It's tremendous.
I will say, it's like Foxborough's cool, and they've done a great job with Patriots Place. I do wish it were in a city. Like, that would be awesome if it was kind of like the vibe of Fenway or, you know, somewhere in Back Bay, right? I feel like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm in the other way because I don't want to drive to Boston.
Well, that's a fair point, too.
You know, you got a game down there. Imagine just regular having a Monday night football or a Thursday night football game there.
Oh, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to leave at 8 in the morning. Actually, 8 in the morning, it's too crowded. You go now. If you leave for Boston at 5 in the morning now, it's tough to get there.
Yeah.
So, but I like where we're at. Like the stadium, waiting to see the new improvements. Jake, you've seen it, so it's pretty impressive, right?
That scoreboard's nuts. But I also heard they only had to finish it because Taylor Swift, it was in her rider that she wanted to see herself perform.
It won't be ready.
Well,
I heard that too.
She's not going to be happy.
I heard that too. I don't know. Well, you actually work with the people upstairs who run the board, so they know more than I do.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it not ready? I thought it was ready.
They have a portion of it. It's not.
I thought it was fully done, like to the end of the thing. I thought that's all they needed to do.
It's built in, but you know, there's a lot of wires back there. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so I don't know. I heard the same thing you did, but I heard it might not be ready.
Well, she might have a full scoreboard. It just might not be working.
So that's obviously long horizontally, but is it as tall as Citi Field's new monster one?
I don't even think
Ours
it's close.
is the biggest in the country.
Okay.
It will.
It's
be.
It's the biggest like square footage. Yeah.
Right. Until Jerry Jones extends his by a foot.
Right.
Yeah. But that tower is pretty impressive. That's going to be able to people can be able to rent out the back and of the tower and watch a game from up there and have a party up there and all that. So that'd be pretty interesting.
They didn't make any progress on our scaling the lighthouse idea from last year, did they?
No, we haven't pushed it yet. They didn't know when they were going to get done.
They're like Silverman's talking again.
I'm hoping I'm going to get up there next week and take a peek. For Taylor
Like up to the top?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. You got to talk to some people. I got to wear my hat and find some people.
So with the topic of the Patriots, obviously before we hopped on, we just got the schedule release. First and foremost, the video dropped. If you haven't, spoiler alert, we got a little cameo we got a lot of cameos, but we got a cameo from Mr. TB12 himself, who makes his return pretty early on. What is it, second week?
First week versus Philadelphia, 4:30.
Game one.
Right already.
I'm like kind of, and I'll just say I'm a little shocked that number one, Philly is on the schedule first for them. That's like whatever, right? It's a home opener. It's against Philadelphia. I'm not too
the one time Brady
that,
lost the Super Bowl to last.
Yeah, and then but that's the thing. They also compound that with putting Brady's return home on that day. I mean, is that just a vengeance?
I think it's coincidence.
Yeah, probably. But they have to do it on game one.
Hey, the following week is a Sunday night versus Miami. I'm surprised they didn't do it for national TV.
Right.
But then again, you know, it's, the difference is the CBS game versus an NBC game. Maybe there was a reason for that too. You know, sure. CBS always carries our game, so maybe that was one of it. Who knows?
Looking through, so I would assume you'll go to Germany, right?
I haven't missed a game in 31 years.
Right. And that is outside the confines of the U.S. So have the Pats played? Have they done like the London games or the Germany games?
We've done 3 Mexicos.
Mexico.
And we've done London twice, and that was pretty much it. And Toronto once, believe it or not. 1992, it was a preseason game. It was Bill Parcells versus Bill Belichick, Cleveland Brown. Preseason game in the Toronto Toronto Dome then.
Interesting.
So
you got to go to the Deutschland.
What's that?
I said you get to go to the Deutschland.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, I was there about a month ago when Mr. Kraft did the March of the Living, so I went to Poland to photograph him doing that. So I had a chance to see Poland and all that. I didn't go to the stadium, but it was kind of interesting. So I'm looking forward to to doing a game there.
And now all you need for your Oktoberfest outfit, because you have the hat already, is just a lederhosen.
That won't happen. Unless they have them in long pants. I don't wear shorts.
Where is the game? Is it going to be in Munich or
no, Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
Okay. I do not know the stadium that I could.
Interesting.
Not I think it's a 9:30 game. You guys are going to have to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, 9:30 a.m. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a 6-hour difference, so.
Yeah, it's against the Colts, November 12th. Going to be a little chilly out there. Where does this stack up with destinations that you have been with the Pats? Like you mentioned Mexico, Toronto, London, all that stuff. Like where do you envision this stacking up?
Oh, probably up there. I mean, listening to, if you watch the Tampa played there last year, the fans stayed there an hour and a half afterwards and we're still singing and stuff like that afterwards. So we'll be long gone by then, but it's a different crowd. London's a good crowd. They kind of watched. You could tell they were watching the game. They knew when to clap. But I think the Germany's more going to be like a soccer game than it is anything else. But we'll see when I get there. I haven't, just based on what I saw from the Tampa game when they were there last year. Everyone raved about it.
I mean, it's definitely incredible how global the game's becoming. And I mean, I don't know logistic wise, but I truly believe in the next 10 years, maybe less, maybe more, there'll be a European team.
It'll be a hard sell.
It's a hard sell. Yeah.
I think this is the best way to do it because various teams going. I mean, I was just looking at, so we're playing, hold on. So we're playing the Commanders on the 5th. Well, they gave us the bye week. So they play on Sunday. Okay, then you got to go to Germany for another Sunday game. That's an 8.5-hour flight. So you got to figure you're going to leave Thursday or Friday. So you're actually losing almost a day and a half, 2 days of practice. So it's going to be very hard.
It makes sense. I mean,
and then on the way home, you're still talking maybe a 7.5-hour flight.
But you get the bye after, which is good.
That's why they do that.
Yeah. That's interesting too. Are they going to let you guys hang out in Germany for a couple days after? Or are they flying everyone back right after the game?
Yeah, kind of right back because they'll come right back. I doubt. I know one time in London we stayed overnight and then flew up the next morning. But that London trips we always flew out on Thursday nights, and literally we got into the hotel at 9:00 and it was bang out the whole time because press conferences and they had practices and then the next day they had practice on Saturday and it's like. The nights we had time to go out and see the city. That was about it. So I'm assuming the same thing. Maybe leave on a Thursday afternoon, get in there on a Friday, find a place to practice on Friday afternoon, maybe again on Saturday, and then game.
So we're all the November 26th game too. We've all got stake in because the Pats are going down to MetLife Stadium, take on the New York Football Giants.
Yes.
The revamped New York Football Giants, or I guess not revamped, but bring back Daniel Jones or bring back some of their core pieces. All right,
there it's 1:00 game because with the day ball and everything down there.
Candid thoughts, Silverman. Is MetLife Stadium better atmosphere at a Jets or Giants game?
I haven't done a Giants game in a long time. I think the last time was a Thanksgiving game. I think the Jets are a little bit louder. Until halfway through the game when they're losing bad and then they're just kind of sitting around. But it's actually pretty good. Last year, they had us at the end and they had they had an interception that was called back and that was the end of their game. But they're going to be hard this year, obviously, with
Tondo's ready to wrap the show. He's like, nah.
I mean, listen, the Jets, they always have hype and then they go back to their basements when they start losing the games, and now all the fans come out of the woodworks and be like, I've been a fan since day one now that Aaron Rodgers here, yada, yada, yada. And listen, Aaron Rodgers, yes, MVP, incredible talent. If he can't get it done in the Packers, what is he going to do with the Jets? Because he asked for weapons and he brings back his whole team that he hasn't done much fun. Granted, there's some new talent on the Jets. They have a good offensive line. They got the running backs. I get it. Good defense.
They got 2 receivers. He brought in 2 good receivers.
Brought in receivers.
Yeah,
but your division's tough. Your division's not a walk in the park.
it's like when Tom went to Tampa. Tampa was missing just a quarterback, but they were also missing a leader. So I think the same thing with Aaron. He's going to go in and just, hey, if you guys listen and we do this, and the coach is going to do the coach's job, but Aaron's going to say, hey, if you guys do this play, we can make this work. So it's going to be hard. I think having them, we're having them late, right? Well, the third game. By then they won't. I think we'll have an advantage still because they won't have time to gel yet. And those first 3 or 4 games of any season is the hardest time because they're getting the team to gel together and work together, and you find out what a team is. And hopefully we get them where they're a little bit weak. Because later in the year, Rodgers teaches them saying, see, I told you if you did it, and we get it. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can't count out the Bills. The Bills have, been dominant, even though they've lost some pieces. The Dolphins, obviously, they could be a quarterback away, but they are very talented rosters. The Patriots are always a tough go-around. It's a gauntlet of a division and a gauntlet of an AFC.
I think we got a good division this year. I think the Bills got exposed in the playoffs. I think that's going to help us a lot, and I think we can beat them. I think it's going to be very hard. I think it's going to be very hard to win any of the games.
Are you excited for New Year's Eve at Buffalo in what will probably be negative 10 degrees again?
Well, don't forget. Look at the schedule. Don't forget. December 7th at Steelers is no picnic, and that's a night game. Then the following week is a home game versus the Chiefs. That's a night game. And then
Christmas Eve at Denver.
Which is a night game in the cold. So that's going to be just as cold. Then we come home. Then we go to the Bills. And then we play the Jets. Now the Jets game is TBA. So if we're in the playoffs, they're going to move that to a night game. So it's going to be a very cold season.
Or here's what is actually crazy. And you just saying that actually made me shudder because that very well could be if the Jets are going to clinch. They'll move.
I was thinking us. Now I was thinking us over the Jets, by the way.
Well, I do too, but my initial reaction was like, holy shit, what happens if the Jets are on the brink and the Patriots are on the outside looking in?
Well, it could be the other way around where, hey, whoever wins the game gets in.
That would be pretty cool. That might mean something down the stretch.
And that's why the league, if you notice, a couple of years ago, they changed it. We played the division rival at the end of the season for that particular reason. So if you're going up against one another, our chances of having winner takes all, that was their best bet. So I think they've done it right. That's why we played the Bills at the end. We're playing the Jets at the end. Last year, we played Miami at the end. Good move by the NFL.
It is. Overall, is there somewhere that stands out to you that's maybe, well, obviously you've been to basically everywhere at this point, but are you excited to go to a specific venue this year?
Germany.
Besides Germany,
Vegas is really nice stadium. Actually, I think it's nicer on the outside than the inside. I think the inside kind of looks like Giant Stadium.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Cowboys is always fun. That's a great atmosphere down there. Other than that, yeah, I've been to most of them, so to me, they're all pretty much the same. Actually, last year when we played the Vikings was the first time I've done we've done the Super Bowl there. First time doing the Vikings there. That was a great atmosphere for the Vikings. I was surprised.
What do you miss?
I couldn't say surprised. I was impressed. And Baltimore is a great atmosphere too, by the way, if you've never been.
Which ones are you missing?
What do you mean missing? Like not going?
Have you been to every single stadium?
I believe at this point I have, yeah. So the next one I would not have been is when they build the Bills Stadium, and we'll see if I'm still alive then. I think that's 3-4 years away. Kind of like when who else is building a stadium? I think Tennessee's getting a new stadium too.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Our stadium's older and it's there. Actually, when I started, Atlanta had built their stadium. It was brand new, and now they have a new one.
Atlanta did that with baseball too, though, because they had Turner Fields or Turner Park or whatever it was, and then because that was like '96, and then they built another one like 20 years after.
Right. Well, That's why Crafts keep updating there so they don't have to and make it
yeah.
worthwhile. Actually, they're actually making it a better atmosphere to come to and watch a game, which you kind of need to do because people can stay home and we can watch it on this, that, the other thing, and watch 10 games at once. So they need to make it exciting. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to the new board. That should be fun. And
so Will and I went to the Bills game on Thursday Night Football this year. And I will say, like, I understand that it was freezing and that it probably affected my emotions, and they also got just walloped by the Bills. So overall, C- to D+ experience, but
at home though.
It was at home. It was at Gillette. Yeah. But it's a good point. It's like I'm happy I went to the game. Like I wouldn't have done it over a different way, but God, in hindsight, I would have love to just sit on my couch and watch the Patriots get slammed.
Well, if we had won or if it came into overtime, you would say a different story.
I know. I'd be talking about how cool the cold game was.
Right. That's it. You know what was cold and I was dreading was that last Buffalo game.
Did you know they serve Treehouse beer at Gillette?
I don't go upstairs. I can't drink beer at Gillette. I can't afford a $16.
That's why I'm asking if you knew.
I can't afford a $16 beer.
That's why I'm asking if you know.
Nothing's worth that much.
Because you probably never venture off like the back, like the 6th floor. I don't go where their peasants go.
Once the game's on, I'm on the. I know every place of the stadium, but not during the game day. I've never seen it. Once I'm on the field, I'm on the field or in Kraft's suite or something like that. That's it. Don't go any further than that. Game's on, I'm on.
Well, now you have a talking point that Gillette Stadium serves a very limited amount of Treehouse beers for some Patriots games.
And are you saying that's your favorite beer at this point? Or you can't say that because you talk a lot about beers.
We're beer agnostic, but that is a well-accepted industry favorite.
Okay. I will have to
give
that a try.
That's fair, Tondo?
I would say that's fair. They're the cream of the crop.
Okay.
They're the gold standard, if you will, the North Star.
Someday if it's there, then I will try it. How's that?
You should.
Yeah.
There we go.
Do they serve you the beer in the booth when you're up there?
Yeah. How else do you think I get through them?
A soccer game?
That's a joke for anyone listening.
No drinking while working.
Wink, wink.
So obviously with the summer coming up, let's go back to your travel. We wanted to bring up Poland and stuff. So how did that all work into the mix? And then tell us about your experience there.
Yeah, it was good. Mr. Kraft started this thing on Jewish hate, and part of that was going to do the March of the Living, which is the walk of from Auschwitz to Birkenau that the prisoners made after World War II when they were freed and all that. So for the last 35 years, they do that up, and they walk from there back to Birkenau from Auschwitz, and it was about 10,000 people walking. And so part of that, Kraft walked that and, with other people, and it was kind of fun. Obviously my job to follow him sometimes, and had the chance to go and photograph that. So it was hard because it was so many people to really see and know where you were because I'm also working. But it was interesting to be at the place where go in the temple and learn about the Holocaust and you hear about it, and then to see the actual place is a whole different thing.
Was that your first time there?
Oh yeah, yes. Not a place I would say I want to go vacation.
Well, right.
Like that, but it was an opportunity. I think obviously history people want to see that. You want to be there and you want to do that. So it was a good opportunity. When the opportunity came up, I took it.
I had a chance to go back in high school, and obviously you and I with the cameras, it's like you're there to take the photos. But how hard was it for you to kind of take? I mean, you were working and stuff, but being present there and taking the photos.
My job was Mr. Kraft.
Yeah.
So when I could, I kind of look around and see what's here and here. So going through Auschwitz, there's rooms. One of the rooms has all the shoes that are there from all that, and just to see the piles of shoes, it's just tremendous. It's just to think the people who were in them at one point are no longer on this earth, and that's just amazing to see. And so when the prisoners came in, they also shaved their hair, and there were piles and piles of hair, like rooms worth. And they used it to make money on it. I believe they sold the hair to make some money. But to see that's actual people's hair that are no longer with us. And, seeing stuff like that, that's when it hits you that it actually happened. It happened. But, you say,
it's not a textbook and documentary anymore. You're there seeing
right.
it.
Right. I was recently watching a show on Ivan the Terrible. And they were trying to arrest him, trying to figure if this guy was him. And just watching all these videos of the Germans on how they would just take these bodies and toss them like they were nothing. And, and then seeing, that's where it happened. It hit. You think about it, it hits you, but you're also at the same time working. It probably hits me more now that I'm thinking and talking about it. But it's history now. You know it was there. It's not just something you heard from the rabbi or the schools and all that stuff or the textbook. And we've all seen the videos, but to be there, where it was. And,
Yeah, very similar to. I keep thinking about when you and I went to Dachau, Will, and that was in 2017. And that's like for someone, I feel like people like us who, I think there's a general appreciation for history. Like it sort of has a switch when you go and say like, oh my God, this was an actual place, right? This stuff actually happened. And what's even crazier is like, this happened over the lifetime of people we know. Like this is not that ancient history that people think it is. Like this is less than 100 years ago, which makes this even more like scary to think about,
There's less and less of them around to tell the stories and stuff like that. So my father had a client who was a prisoner. He lost both his parents and his sister. And he said, my greatest day was when I took my mother's wedding ring and traded it for an egg. And he says, that's just to show you that everything has a value to it. So, and he said he used to walk around with a toolbox and some wire on his shoulder. And he said, I just look busy, and that's how I survived.
Wow.
So stories like that. And there was one lady at before the watch was telling her story. She was only a couple of years old, and her mother was being hoarded to the trains, and she was holding her, and her sister ran up to the train, and somehow she was able not to be on the train because she did some work for the Germans or whatever. And she said, that's my baby. So the mother threw the baby to her sister. So you just think about that, giving up your child to somebody else that you'll never see. So you just think of stuff like that happening. That's those are true stories from someone who was there. And her aunt / mother at that time took her and put her in a home with nuns. And that's how she survived, was because she was raised Christian. And so she told the story and how she was raised by them, and she was, read the book and all that stuff. And, in 2007, she went and found the nun who saved her, and the nun remembered her and all that. So, hearing those stories, then it's real. But those stories being told from the people are only going to be, what you hear from the movies or what you hear from the videotape or not, tape back in the day.
It's crazy stuff. Yeah. Well, glad you got to experience it. It sounds really rewarding.
You guys did it too. So,
yeah. Oh, for sure. Did you, on a much, less somber note, did you get to go around and see?
Beat this up,
When you were out there, did you get to go see other sites? Like, did you get to go walk around? Like, where'd you stay in Poland? Did you get to enjoy it all?
Yeah, we were in Warsaw. We were in Old Town, which was nice. And they had there was something going on because in order to go from this street to this street, you had to get checked in and stuff like that. And it was a Remembrance Day from when their president was killed on a plane, but on the plane was like the whole cabinet. So that was their day of memory, and there was soldiers walking around and everything, and old suits and stuff like that. And so that was kind of interesting to see. And then one morning, my room, I couldn't get cold. So I opened the window and I opened up. There's a guy standing on the roof next door to me with a gun. And there was a guy on the other side. And I did not realize that we were staying next to the president's home.
Oh.
So I closed my window, closed the curtains, didn't open again.
Yeah, you don't need to be taking pictures and that long lens.
Exactly. I just kind of looked down and I said, yeah, I'm closing this.
Yeah, that's the right call.
So, but it was a nice little city. I was impressed. They had a lot of bakeries and stuff like that, and ice cream all over the place. So it was pretty interesting. Everyone was just doing their job, and it was kind of fun. Had some nice vodka. The bartender turned me on to some nice local vodka and all that, and got to find some of that.
So that was your foreign travels. Do you have any travel plans before the season starts?
Before the season starts, no. I'm just traveling with the Revs. So I'll be in Miami this week. We go to Atlanta. So, those kind of things. I'm hoping in February, we're trying to get on, my friend and I are trying to get on a trip to Manitoba, Canada to go photograph the Bears when they come out of the dens with their Cubs. So hopefully next year I can tell you a little about that.
You said that so casually. That's like,
well,
like you're literally witnessing like basically Bears giving, but like that's absolutely
no. We're not gonna be in the den while they give birth.
Well, I know that, but
as they come out of the den, it'll be late February, early March. Temperature will be coming down a little bit or getting better. It'll be about minus 45. So we got to go a little early and rent some garb for that. So just in the details, we'll see if it comes through. But that's hopefully the big trip that I'm looking forward to in February, March.
I wanted to text you a couple weeks ago. Did you see the Northern Lights down in Rhode Island?
I did not. It was very disappointing.
I missed that. I saw the picture the next day, and I was like, why wasn't this publicized? I would have parked my ass.
Because they don't want you to know. The people who knew didn't want you to know that you didn't see it. So I actually messaged that guy online, and he was very nice. He's from New Mexico, and he's here. He was a teacher. And I said, how'd you find out about it? And there's an Aurora app that you can put on. It tells you when you actually could see it in your area. So when actually it was in Toronto, I knew it was close. And at one point, I got an alert that you have a 12% chance of seeing the Aurora tonight. So I'll send you that app if you want. But I don't think that's a rare thing. I don't know. I was told, or I saw online, that possibly last night into this morning, we could have seen something, but I don't think anything ever came of it.
Yeah.
And you really have to go. I think this guy said he went down to Charlestown. So you really got to go way out there to see it. And I think it might have been manipulated a little bit.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it was a little bright for this area, but no, they did a good job. You have to get up early in the morning and sit around. And I read one guy's story where he was up at 2:00, drove from one place, drove back to another place, and it just doesn't happen. Sometimes you get lucky and it just happens, but they obviously knew something was going on. And I think they said at 2 days earlier, there was a super explosion on the sun, and that's when you get this. And it was so bright, it actually came down from way up north, and we were, this area was able to see it.
Is that how that works? That has something to do with the sun?
What's that?
That has something to do with the sun?
Yeah, that did. Yeah. It's solar flare. Yeah. I have a couple, back in 2018, I think I went to Alaska to photograph some of the auroras. It's actually pretty neat when it happens, because it's just like you're sitting there, all of a sudden you see a little flash, and all of a sudden the lights just kind of flicker around. They change colors, and green's like normal, but if you get a red, it's a super over kind of thing, and it's really cool. It just kind of dances in the sky. Sometimes it's for a half hour, maybe 2 minutes. And I had a chance to do that, and that was pretty cool.
Crazy stuff. So this summer, though, I hope you got some surfing planned.
Let's get some waves, and I'll go in. I got some cameras, and go down there and get some. I'll let you know. You come down. I got an extra water camera. Get you in the water.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
So, right now, there's been not too many waves lately. So about a month ago, there was some good ones. So, but we'll see. Waiting to see. Hopefully, the water will be nice and warm again this year. Last year, I think it got to about 75.
Do you have any diving planned as well, or is that it?
No, diving? No, not really. Although my friend and I are doing the polar bears. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, we want to go to Tonga and photograph the humpbacks.
Wow.
We'll see. It's
Where even is that?
I don't know. I have seen all the pictures in Tonga, and I know that. I do know, but right now, only because you asked me right off the top of my tongue, no, I don't know. But
is it like why do I want to say it's like near?
You get the computer in front of you. Look at it.
Yeah,
I want to say Australia.
Yeah,
it
sounds like somewhere out there. It's Polynesia. It's honestly in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. Yes, it is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's off the coast of Fiji.
Okay, there you go. It's about 20 hours, 30 hours away.
Damn.
Is there like a dream bucket list in your head of places one day that you plan on hitting?
Well, the polar bears are one, and the humpbacks are number two. How's that?
Checking them off.
It's been 5 years since I've been actually away, so actually I've been talking to my tornado friend too, and it sounds kind of interesting too. Still haven't gotten that. He's out.
Yeah, weren't you? When was the last time you went storm chasing? Was that last year or 2 years ago?
21, I believe.
So yeah, that must have been our first, our 1 year anniversary.
It was just before our anniversary. Just before. We were at a show just before, and I went that summer. I had one sitting right above my head. It was just turning and turning, and it was like right there in front of us, and it just never happened. That's as close as I got. But I'm seeing some of the stuff I see now. They're getting stronger and stronger. It's pretty scary.
I was gonna say we are due for some of those photos though, because I would love to see. That'd be one I'd purchase off you.
Why don't you come with me?
Wow.
Like I said, Dave, I will not say no to anything that you do. I will tail you and follow you along any place you want to go. I'll be there.
You got to pay your own way, buddy.
No, that's fine. I just need the invite.
Yeah, sounds cool. We're going to Tonga. Nice.
I was talking storm chasing, but you can go anywhere you want. Last time we got a car and it was brand new, it had 35 miles on it, and we turned it in with 2,800 miles on it. From 35. And luckily we didn't have any hail. So, but yeah, that's putting on, and that was only 5 days. And so we had gone I flew into Oklahoma. We had to go to South Dakota, went back to Denver. Then we went back to Oklahoma, down to Texas, back to Nebraska, back down to Texas, and then back to Oklahoma. And that's in 5 days.
Holy crap.
And I got crap. And that was it. Just that one storm above our head, and that was it. But it was nice being out there when you get the big storms and the clouds and everything. That's just
when's peak for storm chasing? Like July, August out there?
Right now.
Oh, it is right now out there? Huh.
This is the next couple of weeks are. And actually it's been a little late April. They had some really good storms. It was an F5. You watch, I follow people on Twitter and stuff like that. So if you really want to find some stuff, just put tornado on Twitter and you're going to see some great photos and great.
There was that one in
dangerous.
Arkansas, that like huge F5, and I think it was like the Arkansas border.
It was huge. It was gigantic, and people chasing it, and it's getting to the point they're almost going to make it. They're trying or might kind of regulate it, or don't let people do it, or arrest you if you're doing it, because they're just driving by stop signs and stuff like that, and some of them are it's just getting too much, because I won't say it's easy, but if you know how to chase a storm, you just you drive 90 miles an hour to get to one place to another, and people get hurt, and they're getting worried about that.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts. If you watch Twitter and you see these people and they're driving on their phones and texting and showing the pictures, but yet they're driving. It's like, okay, people, come on, what are we doing?
So we'll do a photography trip. You guys take the photos. I'll drink the beer in the back seat.
Well, let's
just be like, "Whoa, that's insane!" What about that one, Will and Dave? Like
the whale watching whale watching.
Yeah, I got a guy, Labrador boats. He only allows 6 people on the boat, so it's about $800 last year. So it's not bad. $200 a person with a little tip. I got some great stuff last year, so I'm trying to hit him up this year to go back out. So if you want to go, I will put you as one of the 6.
I'm in.
All right, get some overtime.
There we go. And then I'm still ready to be your intern. I'm still ready to be your intern at Gillette.
They're still keeping the numbers exactly where they are, right? So they're not letting a lot of people on the field.
Training camp.
Huh? You gotta go by Stacey James and get his. You gotta get an okay to him to photograph. Although behind the rope, you get there early, you get in front row. It's the same as what I get. And actually, some of the stuff I can't even shoot or use because they have to approve it. But you with your camera behind the rope, you can do anything you want. So like if you came in as part of the media, you're going to get 10, 15 minutes. But if you're just in the stands shooting your camera, you can shoot the whole time. Very weird.
That is odd.
Yeah. Until now I said this and someone hears it and they say, no, you can't bring anything.
Dave, why are you telling people that people can bring cameras in here?
Because people do it and they have the same lenses I do and they're doing it. So, hey,
In theory, you can't stop a fan from bringing in their camera and taking a photo.
They can. They actually, like in the stadium, you can only go with a 50 millimeter lens. So eventually, now that I'm saying this and they hear it, you're only going to be able to go with a 50 millimeter. But people are in there with 300 millimeters and zoom lenses. And you know what?
We'll filter that out. Any listens that come from Foxborough on this, we'll just cut that part.
Yeah, I cut that part so I don't get in trouble. But, now they're trying to tell people not to take video with their phones. But it's like, anybody can do it. How do you tell people you can't? And I get it, but hey, we're doing plays out here. So if you guys want to come, put your camera away, enjoy, and don't show the other team. Because once you put it online, other teams can watch.
It's fair.
True.
Someone used to tell the stories on how Don Shula, when the Dolphins were training, if they saw a helicopter up above, he'd have everyone scramble because they didn't want them videotaping them. So when the helicopter was gone, they'd bring all the players back on and they go back to practice.
It's wild. What a wild world this is. Well, looks like you guys have a trip to Tonga planned.
No, we'll do the whale watch. I'm going to start them off slow, okay?
All right, the whale watching first. Okay. I can come to the storm chasing one.
We want to make sure he doesn't feed the fish on this first,
That's fair.
If you can stay above the water, we'll get you under the water.
That's my problem, but I'm in.
So if Will passes that and you invite him back, I will then tag along for storm chasing.
Would you really?
I would consider it.
I'm in.
It's not bad.
Tornadoes kind of freak me out, but I would consider it.
Actually, the guy I went, Gage Shaw, my friend who I go with, just texted me. He's getting a job with one of the local papers out there, so he's going to be doing video. He's going to be one of us, Will, which is kind of neat because all he did before was storm chase, and actually he was worked cannabis, and now he's going to be one of us. He's going to be one of the media. So, but he would take us out anytime we want.
You give me a date, I'm there. Give me a date, I'm there.
I'll go after the big storm. So I'm not gonna lie. I told him, I said, I don't want to be in the storm. I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be miles away and get a nice picture. And he's one of those. At one time when I wanted him to stop, he says, "No, I got to get over there." I said, "But I just want to take a picture." He said, "Nope, you haven't got time."
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, as we close out, we always like to ask, because again, Hall of Fame guest, any words of wisdom or pieces of advice you have for another year in the books, another year. What do you got?
I got just accept the change. One of the different year for me. A lot of after COVID, a lot of the people that I worked for retired and stuff. So I'm dealing with new people. A lot of new people coming in. They're younger. Different work ethics, and I'm the old guy who's coming in and trying to keep that job. Didn't go so well. So always accept the change. Know when it's coming. I knew years ago when my friend retired that I would have to fight for that job again. And you figure after so many years you wouldn't have to. So always accept the change. See the future. As Chevy Chase say, be the future, see the future, look ahead. Know what's ahead of you and be prepared for it. I mean, I'm prepared. I'm older. I know what I can and can't do at my age, and if I don't have that, I'm okay. My 10-year younger me would be worried, at this point. But now, going with the Revs and traveling with them is part of my way of saying, okay, I don't have that. This is how I'm going to make it up, and it's been great. And it's actually other opportunities open for me with some of that lost work. So I do a little bit more for PC, I do a little more for Brian. I picked up some brev. So some of that other stuff that I lost, it's like, okay, this is good. This is nice. I accept it, brace it, be ready for it, know that it's there.
I love it. Those are good words of wisdom. You've come a long way. Remember the first episode? You said, I don't know. It probably didn't sound that great. I'm not the best person to do this. You're now a 4-time podcast appearance person. So
you may have done it in that amount of time too, no?
4. This is a house.
I'm proud of you guys. You guys, I like seeing you guys on the sidelines now. You're one of me. You guys are getting popular. Jake, you're out there everywhere. I hear your voice. I think was it at Gillette when I said, "Hey, I hear it. I know that voice. I know you're in the building." And I hear it at PC, I hear it at Bryant. So good for you. Will,
I love getting those texts when you're in the building and you're like, "Hey, I'm here. Great to hear you." I'm like, "It's great to see the fedora down there."
That's it. And Will, I see you. You're sitting right. Your butt's sitting right next to me down at PC and stuff like that. So good for you guys.
You got to give me some. You got to give me some advice on the knees. The knees courtside are starting to take a hit.
TFA, too fucking bad.
Yeah.
Deal with it, buddy. Deal with it.
I saw guys with like seats. I'm like, how can you get the good shot when you're?
I might go with the seats too because it's getting hard on the back. That floor is kind of tough. You kind of stretch out every once in a while. I don't know. The timeouts you got to stand up.
Yeah.
Basketball's hard just sitting there. So that's the workout. So
you can just wear knee pads.
That's it. What's that? Knee pads, you can't football. I don't even do that anymore. No, just got to work out. You got to work the back. That's it.
A lot of back extensions.
Yes, back extensions. Jake, I've seen you doing the workout. Good for you.
Yeah, I know. It's back is tough, man.
It is. So what do they have you do for hip extensions?
Just back extend on the throne of honor. Just go down.
And up. That is kind of neat, isn't it? I don't know.
Sure.
Have...
Painful.
And you know what? If it's painful and you're huffing and puffing, you're doing it right.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's fun. Still love the workout. Kind of got away from it a little bit, but you got to get your head back in the game. You know how that is.
Yes. Tondo, you still a Peloton guy?
Still Peloton. A lot of it. It's been more walking now with the puppy.
That's true.
Oh, nice. But that's life though. That's great part of life. You got the puppy. You're walking. That's so much fun.
Yeah. So it's been.
You need a treadmill next to you on the bike. The dog does a treadmill. And you do the bike.
Honestly, that might be it because I start pedaling and he like tries to bite at the pedals and stuff. And I take the weights out and I can only do standing workouts because anything on the floor, he's like, well, that means it's playtime. And I'm like, oh my God.
No, but then you pick up the dog and you lift him.
Yeah.
Okay?
He's getting to that point. You
lift him over your head 10, 15 times, relax, throw the ball, lift them back up. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. That's your workout.
That might be it.
You're onto something.
You just got to, it's not the workouts anymore. It's the sleeping schedule. That's what I miss.
It's as good practice for someday if you ever want kids.
One day, not today.
No sleep, a lot of running around.
Not today.
I used to have a row. When I started off. My son would run around circles while I did the rower. So that was our workout, but that was our time together,
Yeah. So I'm gonna
the puppy's the same thing.
A ball with peanut butter.
What's that?
I said I'm just gonna give him a ball with peanut butter and let him sit right next to me for half an hour.
That's how you do it. Get a Kong toy and you put the peanut butter inside.
It's a game changer. Truly is.
Jake's going, yeah, I'm not doing any of this. I'm just doing my workout. I'm going to be single. I'm not going to have a dog.
No dogs yet.
Dog is better than anything you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah.
He is a good boy.
Huh? It is. You can make a mistake or whatever, and they're going to forgive you and still give you a kiss.
You ever see that meme?
Good luck trying to get that from your wife, okay?
You see that meme? It's like it's a person, like a dog owner going to the dog. It's like, I love you so much, I'm going to plan my whole life around you. And the dog's like, all right, that's cool, but do you have a treat? I kind of laughed at that.
Pretty much.
They don't judge you. They love you for everything you are. Even when you forget them and leave them home for 7 hours.
Yeah.
And we feel guilty about it. They just forgive us.
It's part of the job and part of the life. Yeah, but Dave Silverman, ladies and gentlemen, we always appreciate it. Hall of Fame guest, first guest, and forever guest.
Thank you, guys.
One day we're gonna get you on a T-shirt once you give us a good tagline. It might be first guest and forever guest.
All right, there you go. Make it a medium so it looks better on me.
We got a shirt for you too. I got the Rhode Island Hoops one whenever we meet up again.
All right, good. Well, maybe at Patriots camp. Oh no, we're gonna meet on the boat mid-June. Whale watch.
Tell me the date.
You might have to take a day off of work. So
tell me the date I'm there.
Okay, bring the barf bag.
There, I'm good with that. I got my sea legs. Don't worry. Is it for you or for me?
Wow.
For me. Not me. Not me. How about you, Jake? You want to join us or not?
Maybe. We'll see.
What a win.
But Dave, I'll
end on that. How's that?
I love it. On that.